Hi, Deepa Rani Shekhar from Transform Life Programs. Love and Light. Friends, all that we are today, we usually give credit to education. Fine. But whatever we have learnt in school, how much do we apply it to our jobs, to our lives? Yeah, teachers use it. Agree, teachers use it, doctors use it. But the rest of the industry, how much do they apply what they learned in school? Yeah, what they learned in college, to some extent they apply. Friends, tell me, where do we use trigonometry in our lives? Maybe a specified small section of mathematicians or research scholars use it. The common people like me who struggled through my college days to get through trigonometry, where do we use it? Tell me. And all the physics formulae, the chemistry equations and stuff, where actually do we use it? Somewhere things have been generalized and given to us. And let's look at history. In the first place, history is given in a very, very subjective way to us. When we study history, we have studied a chapter each on each Mughal emperor. Agreed? Yeah. But there have been the Cholas, the Pallavas, the Shatavahanas, so many dynasties from the south, even from the north. Everything included in one chapter, one paragraph on each dynasty. So, how fair are we in reading the history, which is a subjective presentation of a historian? And how much are we going to use this information or data about history? What took place? If somebody is interested in history or archaeology, fine. Otherwise, to the general set of students, how much does history help us? So, where have the academicians made a gap in bridging the needs of the industry, the needs of the professional industry, and schooling as academics? Yeah, and we know today how much we pressurized our children to look at the exam timetable study. The exam timetable, even before it is announced, right from the day the academic year begins, there is a pressure to study and prepare for the oncoming exams, upcoming exams, or whatever you say. So it's always that. But today, we don't know whether exams will happen or not. Exams are the last thing on anybody's mind today. Parents are worried if the children go to exams. In the situation, which is the first step, the crisis situation that we are facing for the first time in our generation, contemporarily, the first time we are facing such a situation with a pandemic, people are worried about the safety and the health precautions of their children. What if a child gets infected? What if the infection turns fatal? So is exams really necessary? Would loss of one academic year mean so much? I don't think so. How many of us flunk and pick up and still make it big in life? Those who are intellectuals, I'm sorry, I'm not saying it's okay to flunk, don't study, that's not what I mean. But still, it's cool when you were not the topper but still made it big in life. Yeah? So, coming back to this, how safe is it to reopen the schools? How much do we depend on the exams, what we learn? If you are trainers or industry recruiters, you know that people are picked up from the campus and they are made to unlearn and relearn, unlearn what they learned in the universities and relearn the necessity of the industry. In that case, why can't we sit back and allow the online classes to go on and have a combined exam after everything settles down? Now everything is hanging by a thread. People are worried, and the exam definitely should not cost anybody their child. And what are the schools teaching us? They are teaching us how to succeed, how to prepare ourselves to reach the goal, build up our ambition, time management, teamwork, everything. But what the school or most of, I won't say all the parents, most of the parents fail to incorporate is handling a crisis and handling a failure. This is a crisis situation. And how many leaders are meta leaders? META. Okay, the UK pronounce it as meta and the US pronounces it as meta. Meta leaders, where they develop a high awareness, they have a deep self-knowledge, they have self-regulation, they build the capacity to handle a crisis, and they build a framework to communicate between different organizations, bring it on a platform and resolve it, and create a connectivity, have a course forward, have a plan, make decisions, be dynamic and handle it. Yes, there are people doing it, but are they totally equipped? How much are they equipped to do this? And what is the risk that children will be running? If you look at the statistics and the data, as of now, not even 8% of the children are affected. And probably those children who are affected got it from their parents who are asymptomatic COVID positive. So the children have not got it, they are not on the list of statistics because they have not ventured out. They have not been exposed to the risk of the virus. But once the schools open, how sure can you be when they are, they have been suppressed for a long time, for almost 3 months now. Yeah. Once they are out and they get into that playful mode, how can we be sure they will be really, really careful? How can we be very sure that they will not touch each other? When it gets into a fight in a campus, children forget everything. So there is a risk. So is your child's education, qualification, the number of years in school more important than the well-being, safety and health of your child? This is something people have to think. People say we are discussing. Actually, friends, there is no discussion. It is a decision that until there is a closure for this pandemic, until there is a vaccine for the pandemic, there is no chance of exposing children to the risk. They are children. They might not realize the risk. They might get playful. And then whom do we blame? The teachers, the parents, the management, the ones who, bureaucrats and the ministry who made the decision? What is there to discuss? It's a decision. There's nothing to discuss. So how keen are you that your child should not be an year back? Even if it is an year back, the whole generation is facing that. Big deal. Big deal. So can all of us be very sure that whether the school reopens or not, we are not sending our children to school? Whatever happens, happens online. And then at the end of all this crisis of pandemic, when everything settles down, perhaps when a vaccine is found, perhaps when it is eradicated, that is when there will be a crash course or whatever, and then the exams will ensue. Should that be a win-win situation? Yeah, and then yes, the schools have to keep it going. Do not take your children off the road from schools. Let them be there. Let them be connected through online sessions. So probably this is a one of its kind and it is a very serious matter to be addressed. So please think before you say something when your opinion is asked. Children are very precious. They are the future of any nation. They are like the treasure for parents. Would you want to risk that? Would you want to put them at risk and expose them? So this is something, a very serious thing, and I would request all of you to consider it as a high risk if children are outside, be it school, whatever, with separation, without separation. There's nothing going to go haywire if one academic year is lost. Let them learn online, let the modules be developed accordingly, and let it go on. So what do you say, friends? I'm sure all of you will agree with whatever I have told you. Let us create meta leaders who will be able to handle any crisis because they are going to figure out a lot of stuff by themselves. School is only a bridge. School is only a link. It is not everything. So let us make our children more independent, more sustainable by facing this in a different way. Thank you for joining me, Deepa Rani Shekhar from Transform Life Programs. Love and light.